Okay, so apparently we're live, so yay.
Oh shit, look at that.
Let's see how fast it goes. Because I know the last two I was using...
Go to your page now, hold up.
Holy crap, that's really fast. I'm already liking this.
Oh, so this is better for you than Skype?
So far, I really loved Ecamm, and I loved how it worked and like all the control you had for it. But having Skype as the way to bring in people was terrible. Not everybody has Skype. Not everybody was, could remember their Skype stuff. And then like Saturday night, I tried to have, I tried to do the back talk with friends. So I had myself, Funny to Informing, who else? What's the Fuss, and With a Side of Chaos. So I only had 3 screens, and every time we would go live, I would freeze on them. They couldn't see me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had to jump back to my very first streaming thing, which was Be Live, to at least do the show that night, and I was pissed. Oh my god, I was so pissed. We are live now. So welcome everybody. If you are on, please say hi so we can actually see. We're testing out a new one. We're doing StreamYard tonight. Hopefully this will be the last new streaming service that I have to use. There's Cal Nunez. Good to see you, sir. Let's see. What else do we need to do? Oh yeah, there we go. Tag friends. But yeah, please say hi so we can see comments. I make sure everything is working and we're ready to go. So far, everything looks good. Yeah. And you can still see me and hear me, right, Eric?
Oh yeah, you're perfect, man. You're
cool.
Perfect.
Oh, thank you.
I love you just the way you are.
At least somebody does. Oh man. Yeah, this is going way better than Saturday night already. So hopefully this will be the long-term show or streaming service now. Guess I should share it to the BDM stuff, see if we can get any of those people in there.
Yes.
At least to the nerd one.
Share it to the nerd one. They appreciate us.
Eric. Post. Now the big thing is to see if it's on the JBauerArt page. Hey Terry, good to see you, sir. So just a fun fact, so you know, Eric, Cal Nunez is all the way in Holland now, and Terry MacGyver is in Ireland.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hello. How do I see? I'm a technology dum-dum. I'm trying to figure out how I can see these comments, man. I'm like a young pop when it comes to this kind of shit.
I thought everybody was supposed to see them. If you're looking at the screen, on your right-hand side, does it say like a thing that says comments on the top right side?
All right. Do you see how it was like you explaining something to your grandma? I'm like, oh, there's the button. I got it. Okay.
Where is it? I can't find it.
Holy shit.
Nope, you're good. Shit's good. The other words are good. And yeah.
Hey, Terry, what's up, man?
Oh man. All right.
I said, hey, Terry, and something just answered me. That's scary. That's Skynet.
Skynet's coming for you, bro.
Jesus.
Let's see if I can share this on the Twitter. The Twitter. And a tweet. Yay, there we go. All right, good enough. Okay. I feel like there was something else I was supposed to do. Hey, Sage, how are you? Good to see you. I'm forgetting something that I keep remembering, and then I keep forgetting. Oh, that's what I keep forgetting. So with the new program, I don't know if I can bring up your. We'll have to see if I can figure it out as we go.
I like that. Yeah. Freestyle.
But yeah, because on the old program, I used to be able to upload images right into here and then like click them on and off and I could like easily show your artwork. But I may be able to do like a screen share thing with your artwork. So
that's too fancy for me. But
we're all you gotta do is just sit and talk. I'll be the one pushing the buttons and breaking all this shit. So
I hit Control Alt Delete.
No. Do I use the Firefox? No, Grandpa. Calm down.
See, all right. No shit. I'm on my wife's laptop. And it didn't have Chrome installed on it, so I'm trying to do all this stuff, and it's saying you need Chrome. It's not worth. I'm telling you, man. I'm 35 years old. You would think I'm in my 60s. Like I can't handle it. It just stuff happens. It moves too fast, and then and then I'm late to the game on every piece of technology I buy. I'm like 5 years behind. So.
That's all right. That's all right. We still love you, and Lisa likes your guitars.
Oh, hey, thanks, Lisa. I have. Yeah, I got a bass here. I'm not really a bassist, but I have it here for recording, and I've got my my Gibson and my little TV yellow Epiphone there.
Very
P90s,
nice.
Punk rock. That's all I know how to do. So.
Lisa is an amazing musician, so you definitely should check her out. Pretty much all the people you're going to see in these comments are some kind of creators, supporters of us. They're super amazing. So definitely, now that you're on this show, you'll probably get connected to all these amazing people. So if you start getting a bunch of friend requests, they're probably from me.
I look forward to it. Like I said, I'm from punk rock, so I can play like a mean power chord. I can noodle a little bit, but that's about as far as I go. So.
Well, better than me. I can't do shit. So, and hello to the entire Hanging with Web Show crew. It's good to see you. Well, kind of see you guys, but thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hopefully someday down the road, we'll actually be able to see each other in person again. All right, so I'm going to drop you down, Eric, and I'm going to do the official intro. We'll start a few minutes early, and then I'll introduce you, and it'll be all fancy and everything.
Sounds good, man.
Awesome. All right, let me see. Remove. There we go. Yay. I'm learning things. Like I said, this is learning another new program because Ecamm and Skype pissed me off on Saturday night. If you didn't get to tune into that, you missed some fun in me trying not to chuck this laptop across the room. So, welcome to another episode of Back Talk with Bauer. I forgot what show I was doing, but welcome to Back Talk with Bauer. I am Josh of JBauerArt, and I am the host of this shit show, as I like to call it every week. I think that's going to be the official nickname of the show, is the shit show. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the people that are tuning live on Facebook right now at 7 p.m. Eastern on a Tuesday. Thank you for the people that are watching on YouTube on the Hanging with Web Show HWWS WebTV channel, YouTube channel. Please go subscribe, hit the button, do the likes, do the shares, and if you're listening to the audio version, you are even more awesome because you actually are hopefully subscribed to my show on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Plus. No, not Google Plus. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Twitter, Handicapped, all the bullshit and everything. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I appreciate it. Before I bring on tonight's guest, which we were talking a little bit, you can always tune in on the live show. We start about 10 minutes early. We kind of go back and forth a little bit while we do the sharing and caring and all that stuff and let everybody get into the chat. But this episode is, I actually have a sponsor, so yay me. This episode is actually sponsored by my youngest brother, Corey. He is helping out paying the bills and keeping the lights on in the art cave. Actually, he's paying for this program right here, the StreamYard. That is what we're using tonight, and hopefully will be the new way to do Back Talk with Bauer. But he doesn't really have anything to plug or anything to talk about for himself, so he wanted me to pick a different charity every month. So this month's charity is Hope for the Warriors, and that is hopeforthewarriors.org. They help vets in a ton of different ways. They do clinical health and wellness, urgent and long-term for vets and their families, transition services, combat to home, station to station, and military life to civilian life. They also do sports and recreation, which has programs to reintroduce sports and hobbies to warrior athletes. It also helps injured vets with adaptive equipment, and 90.1% of every dollar goes to service members, vets, their families, to restore self, family, and hope. So if that sounds good to you and you really want to help out a great cause, go to hopeforwarriors.org, and there's a nice little donate button at the very top of the page to go donate some money. Maybe if you can even put a reason or where you heard from them, type in Back Talk with Bauer, because who knows what could happen with that. Or you can go and volunteer. So please go over there and check it out. Let's see if I can. We're going to test one thing real quick. Hope for the Warriors. No, I hit the caps buttons. Warriors.org. Now let's see if that actually makes it to the chat. If you see this in the chat, let me know, because I'm very curious, because that is a new thing I am testing with this new program. All right. Big shout out to my youngest brother, Corey, for the sponsorship. If you would love to sponsor the show, hit me up at JBauerArt@gmail.com or any of my social medias, and we'll get you squared away. You could do it monthly. You could do it 6 months. I don't care. Whatever you want to do to help out the show and keep the lights on. So there's that. And let's introduce our guest. This guy I met just a few months back. It feels like a year ago or more now, but it's only just a few months back. But we've known each other on social media for a short little while now. He is a very talented artist. He is actually the first artist, like painting, drawing artist, creating artist that I have had as a guest for Back Talk with Bauer. And he is a fellow Tom and Dan BDM. It is Eric Pabon.
Hey,
hello, sir.
What's happening, man? I'm happy to be here. I'm back. I'm the first artist. Yes. Oh. Yes, the first official artist. I've had musicians, podcasters, let's see, a couple other folks, and myself. So technically you were the first artist. Yes, so welcome, sir. Thank you for hopping in. Oh, it's an honor, man. I'm happy to be here.
So, we've got tons to talk about. You have some amazing artwork to show off. Hopefully I can figure out how to get that working. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But my very first question to break the ice and get everything going, how long have you been a Tom and Dan fan?
Uh-oh, I lost you on the first. See, that's the worst way to start out.
Yes, there we go.
Here's the first question. We're gonna break the ice. Here we go. And
I told you it was a shit show. Can you hear me now?
I got you. I got you.
Okay. So how long have you been a Tom and Dan fan?
Oh, Tom and Dan. So I've been listening to those guys since they were on 104.1 back in the day. And then I moved away, came back, and sort of rediscovered them through the podcast. And,
okay.
They were, when I started listening to them, I guess it was in the early days of Tom and Dan. It still was pretty gritty. And it almost felt punk rock. Like it
right.
felt, and I'm on that page too. I mean, the DIY stuff speaks to me, as an artist and as a musician, and they're just hilarious guys, man. So I've been listening to them since the jump, and they've been very cool as far as facilitating a place for artists to do their thing and contribute in different ways. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, great guys, great allies to have, and I can't say enough nice about them, man. They've always been really, really cool.
Well, yeah, and you've been doing a ton of stuff that involves them and working with them a bit here and there, and we'll get to that later in the show. But I'm trying to do cool, like, icebreaker questions to get the flow going. And Darius says that Eric's beard lines are even sharper than his drawings. So you're getting a shout out for the beard. Thank you for hopping in, Darius. I appreciate it.
That's the highest of compliments, Darius.
So I always love this question, so I try to form it a little bit differently because there's so many ways you could take this question. And usually it is, when did you start art? And there's kind of different stages of it and everything. So what's your first, experience with getting into the artwork? Was it when you were younger, older? When did you start really messing with anything artist-wise?
Well, it all started with Batman 66, man. It started with watching that show as a kid. And as a kid, say what you want about it now, that is the most captivating television on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
Those cliffhangers. It was like, how is Robin going to get out of this in his tiny little dukes, man? So it was watching that show and just obsessively drawing Batman and Robin. Every day, Batman and Robin, Batman and Robin. And then that sort of mutated into the Ninja Turtles, No pun intended. But
that was nicely done. I like that.
I pat myself on the back for that. And so I've been drawing since childhood, and as the 90s rolled on and comics sort of had that second boom of the Jim Lee stuff, the Todd McFarlane, the Image stuff. You saw these really detailed comic book drawings in a way that maybe you didn't in the 80s and the 70s. To say nothing of those guys. John Romita's my Spider-Man hero, but
right.
It opened up all these doors of like, look at all this stuff you can do in the medium. It didn't make me any friends at the time.
It was a much different time back then.
Yeah,
because I think you're a little bit older than I am, so even when I was in high school and stuff, it was a much different time. It was getting a little bit better because we were getting some of the early comic book movies, like the original Spider-Man movies and the X-Men, stuff like that. But it was still,
Well, when those movies started to hit, that was huge because it felt validating. Like, you loved this stuff for so long, and the best you got was, like the made-for-TV Marvel stuff, the Captain America movie, the Punisher with Dolph Lundgren, where he doesn't even have the skull on his shirt.
Right.
And to see like Blade and X-Men and Spider-Man, it just blew my mind. Even now, as big as everything is, when I go see one of those flicks, when I go see a Thor movie or Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm still like pinching myself. So, it's tough for me to be objective about it because I love it all. Like, you can make me feel like I'm 8 years old, man. That's take my money. That's
For sure. I'm making sure to toss in your Facebook link so everybody can go and hit that and hit the like button on Eric Pabon's art page. You can kind of check out all of his stuff. But yeah, and he even has his .com on there because he knows how to roll. I like it.
I'm learning slowly how to roll. I wouldn't say I know how to roll, but yeah. So the art, it's something that I've always done, and I subscribe to this idea that you should just approach things with a why not attitude, because art is sort of, it's a scary thing it's that initial jump of like, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to show people what I do. Are they going to like it? Or are they not? You have to kind of get over that hump at first.
Right.
In anything creative, whether it's music or art or so it was a big step to do that. And people just seem to appreciate it, which is nice. And I've been able to do a lot of work for, down here in Florida, especially the art scene up north where I lived is a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Artists
shitty?
are a little weird. Yeah, a little shitty. Artists can be very weird, and they can be very judgmental and kind of cliquey. And
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. So where is up north home for you? Where is that?
So we moved around a lot, but we moved here from Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
So I've been down here for a few years now, but
which part of Pennsylvania?
I was outside of Reading, Pennsylvania, in a little town called Blandon.
Okay.
Which is like the perfect name for the town.
Okay. I grew up in Northeast Ohio, so I was like right on the border by the Pennsylvania, like getting into Pittsburgh and stuff like that. So
you're way on the other side then.
Okay, gotcha.
You're close to New Jersey, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So, when did you start messing with it and looking at it more as a career type thing? Or, whatever we do, because I believe you're just still doing it as like a side job, correct?
Well, yeah, and it ebbs and flows, especially now the way things are going with, with the real job. It kind of floats up and takes the place of it sometimes when it needs to, and all of that. But I saw that there was an opportunity to tap into nostalgia. Because I'm a nostalgia junkie, and the stuff that I love to draw, it all just taps into that childhood stuff that I love, whether it's comic books or movies or weird toys that we had in the 80s. Just that stuff speaks to me in a weird way. So, Yeah, I started. I got an echo there.
Sorry, I'm trying to make sure. I turned on my phone just to make sure I'm seeing how well the comments line up with the new program. So trying to multitask and failing as usual.
No, you're doing great, man. Yeah, so as I was getting older and starting to appreciate things from my childhood, I noticed the people around me were starting to do the same thing. And when they saw what I was drawing, it's odd to get like an 8x10 of a boglin. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Just weird stuff. So I kind of picked up from there. I mean, I'm relatively new to it down here, but I've noticed down here that art scene seems a little friendlier. And it seems a little bit more supportive, and it seems a little bit, less cliquey and less shitty than it did in other places. So
yeah, I didn't get to experience it a bunch in Ohio because I did a lot of it on the. I like when I was up in Ohio, I lived there until I was right before 21. So when I moved, I was getting more into the artwork, realizing I could do more with it, maybe make some money of it, and get into the comic book scenes. And up in Ohio at that time. There may have been one convention if I was lucky. I don't even know where the hell it was because I never went. Yeah, when I moved to Florida, there was more conventions, and there was MegaCon and the big time conventions. And at first, I thought it was a lot of like you would go and talk to an artist, and I started poking around a little bit. But I was like, oh, these guys are all against each other. They're trying to make money, and they're gonna not talk. And then after being into it for so many years, like I haven't been to a convention in a while. So if I show up or somebody sees me, they're like, where the hell have you been?
Yeah.
It's this weird community. And especially with working with Hangin with Web Show and a bunch of other people that are in this chat right now.
I like Hangin with Web Show. In fact, I remember bumping into you with them at the last MegaCon that I was at, which was maybe 2 years ago now. Like it's been a minute,
right?
But yeah, good show. I tried to get on. Yeah, I tried to get on that show. I didn't get a message back though.
But so you got to tell them you're with me. It moves things. It makes things happen.
I had to grease the palm a little bit.
Yeah. Exactly. So now we said that you have done stuff with for Tom and Dan. Corey asks, how about doing some art for a band? Like Hire the Puppets, which is a really cool name. I like that name. I have to look that up. Have you done anything with band stuff?
I have done stuff for bands. The last commission I'm thinking of was actually for like an electronica guy.
Okay.
He needed a logo. So I listen, anybody in the world who wants some art done, my philosophy was always I don't want to price people out. You don't want to make it accessible. And if somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, I'm starting a band in my garage with my friends. We got $35. Can you do something?" It's like, yeah. I got you, man. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Well, and your work is phenomenal. And what's the best way for somebody to get a hold of you to talk about a commission or get some stuff done?
Yeah, Facebook always works. I'm on Facebook at Art of Eric Pabon, and Instagram is at Eric Angel Pabon, or you can type in www. See, that's how old I am. I still do the W's. artoferic.pabon.com.
There you go. So yeah, please reach out to Eric. If hopefully I will get it to work so we can show off his work. But if you dig his work or dig him or dig that sexy beard of his, go give him a shout out and tell him that you found him through my thing. So it actually, making a Tuesday night chatting with me worth it.
It's always worth it, man.
I have actually, Corey brings up another thing that I guess he is in Indiana, and the convention scene and the artist scene is really good around there. I have heard some good things about Indiana. Really? I have never I have never made it up there, but I have heard some really good things about the conventions and all that up in that area. I believe there was the same people that do Tampa, I think does one in Indiana, if I'm remembering correctly.
Okay.
So,
hey, it's funny, Corey, is I spent 5 years of my childhood in Indiana from the age 5 to 10.
Oh, wow.
It was idyllic, man. It was like Stand By Me. Like it was just riding bikes and playing in the woods and nothing to do. But I loved it there, man. Indiana, that's where it's at.
Now I feel singled out because Corey says us bearded guys have to stick together. What the hell? Getting singled out on my own show. Whatever.
You could have a mean beard, I'm sure, man.
Oh no, it is not in my family's genes to grow beards. I've seen my dad's attempt of a beard. The weird thing is, like, I get everything fuzzy here, but there's like these chunks, and it's I have it, my dad has it, my cousins have it. It's this weird part, like right here, that nothing grows right here, and it gets real spotty, and it just looks terrible. Well, so I just stay to my sexy goatee and a little bit of scruff, and I'm good to go.
But you could pull off like that Daryl Dixon kind of,
maybe.
Yeah, mine is too full. Like it's too much. Too much maintenance. Yeah.
I've seen what some type of beard could look on me. My middle brother Corey, or my middle brother Jesse, has a beard, and he has a very long one. And I like to call him the Goatman. It's kind of scraggly. It's real long, right? And the point, I'm like, you just look like a goatman. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I got my goatee. That's what I wanted when I was a kid. I'm like, at least let me have a goatee.
You got the goatee.
I got the goatee, so we're good to go. So what is, going back a little bit, what is some of your early pieces that you did that you can remember? I know it's hard after doing so many.
Yeah, that's a tough question, my friend. I know I did. Well, I tell you what, it sat on the back burner as a hobby coming up, and then my brother, who's younger than me, would get involved too because he's also an artist. So we would have these kind of back and forths where I would come up with a name or he would come up with a name, and once we got the name, we'd have to put pencil to paper and draw something inspired by it. So usually it'd be like, like just a weird, evil-sounding monster name, And he'd throw it at me, and I'd draw some, cyclops with claws, and that got me in the habit of just always drawing because you get in these ruts where you put it down for a while, you feel rusty. So the reps was a huge part of it. As far as like what the first couple of pieces, I can't.
Do you have any like early favorite ones?
I have stuff that I love, right?
Right.
This is what's cool about art. Is I have stuff that I have poured my whole heart into and not sold a single one.
No.
But I have stuff that I've literally just barfed out and they sell like hotcakes. So you never know what's going to hit. I have a piece, I don't know how many years ago I did this, but I can show it to you here. So I love this piece,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it's just meant to be like kind of just a nostalgic Halloween, right? Like a sort of 80s Halloween. I spent so long on this piece, and it doesn't really look it. I mean, it's not particularly more detailed than anything else I do. I was just so invested in like, I have to get every Ben Cooper vinyl costume right.
Right.
And I'm telling you, when it was done, I was like, that's it. Like, that's my opus, And I think maybe I've sold 2 of these in like 3 years or whatever. Yeah. So
that's why I wanted to bring an artist on, because only a fellow artist knows that that shit that you can't explain to another human that has not been out there trying to sell their artwork, where you go and you paint something that you think is so like amazing. You busted your ass on it and you just think it's the greatest, and it doesn't sell one. And then you create this shit in like 2 minutes that's like, all right, I'll just throw it up there and see if anybody likes it. And then it just explodes and everybody loves it. And you're like,
see, like, yeah, I did. All right. So I did a convention. Where was it? Lake County, something like it was far from me. Collecticon. That's right.
I've been to many a con, so I probably know most of the names of them.
Lake Collecticon, and the guy who runs it is cool, really cool guy. So we had, my brother and I had a space set up, and I almost got mad when someone wanted to buy something that I wasn't as proud of, especially if they were really into it. Like if someone saw something, oh my God, look! I I'm like, yeah, but did you see this? Did you look at this?
Yeah,
one? No,
right.
I don't care about that. That's a hunk of shit. I like, you know. But
yeah, you're
but
just
yeah.
like,
But yeah,
And then,
you know, it was fan art. You know, fan art really got me in the door. You know, as far as selling things and just putting my own spin on the stuff that I like. Like I said, you know, Star Wars, Marvel, whatever.
right now is all yours. You do digital art, right? Are you like iPad and things of that nature, or what do you? How do you do your stuff?
So we talked a little bit before the show about what a technology dumb I am. I was so late to digital art. Like everyone in the world had moved on to digital, and I was still on the Bristol board.
Right.
And I want to say it's only been in the past like 3, maybe 4 years that I learned digital, and I learned it on like an Amazon Kindle, like what I was reading, you know, my books and shit on. And yeah, it was kind of rudimentary, but I was trying to get the hang of it because it was such a different feel than than paper.
Yeah, you don't get that. The best way I could put it is you don't get that resistance, because all mine stuff is paintings, and even with painting, there's a bit of a resistance and just this feel of the canvas that you do not get when you're touching a plastic pen to a screen, and it throws your head off. It's insane.
It is, and those first couple of digital pieces, I don't know where they are, but they're terrible because it looks digital. That's, you know, I do a lot of digital art now, and I hate when it looks too artificial.
Oh, for sure.
So the game changer for digital art was, you know, as the technology moved along, was I think really with moving away from those standard Wacom, you know, tablet to screen type situations, and having something like the iPad Pro where it's in your hand and there's this kind of built-in pressure sensitivity to it, and you've got these paper texture, you know, screens that you can put on top. So
nice.
You're getting as close to like a tactile experience as you can with the digital. But
I may have to look into that because I have a Wacom right now.
Okay.
And actually, it's broke because it's the older version, and the plugins haven't stayed up to date with all of Apple's new updates. So right now, it's just a monitor.
It's a really nice monitor, though, right?
Really nice monitor.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and I know the Wacom has kind of been the industry standard for a long time. It's, you know. But yeah, there's just something about still having something in your hand. And I travel for a living, so it was nice to have something I could take with me to the airport and sitting on the plane and getting work in, you know, in the hotel room and all that. So, so yeah, I was super late to digital, but I'm here and I'm still learning. But it's useful in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to output. And, you know, and talking a little bit before about how you get burnt out sometimes and you put everything down. Digital helps with that too, because if I'm working on a piece and it's just I'm hitting a wall, I can jump to something else, or I have to finish this commission, or I have to, and it's all there, you know. So
Corey asks, he's got. Thank you, Corey, for being so interactive in the show. I greatly appreciate it. Do you still put pen to paper for fun, or just stick to the digital stuff all the time?
I still do pen to paper just because I get self-conscious. Like I feel like I'm going to forget how to do it. Because once you do digital for so long, you get into a groove with it. Right. And you start to freak out a little bit. Like, oh, what would happen if I picked up the Bristol board? Like, would it be funky looking? Yeah. So I try to look at it as exercise. You know, I definitely do as much traditional as I used to, because there are so many benefits to the digital. But yeah, man, I like to get in there and mix it up.
So since we keep talking about your art so much, let's see if I can figure this out. All right, so let's see. There we go. And then I know window. Oh, there we go.
Man, you got this.
All right, let's see. Maybe.
Oh, something's happening.
Oh, so close.
Look at that.
All right.
Look at that.
So that is Eric Pabon's page. Am I saying your name correctly, sir? I don't want to go and mess that up.
Josh, you were saying my name perfect.
Nice.
Perfect.
Because I have to blame Tom and Dan for a little bit with when they have so much fun with your name.
This is what I like about them, right? So I think it was Tom said my name on a show, and he did the whole sound effect, which is Pabon.
Yeah.
And it, like, in that moment, I forget where I was listening to it. I had like this little flash of PTSD because growing up with that last name.
Oh, gotcha.
Dude, I was teased mercilessly with this last. It was mostly Paboner or some variation of that, but no one could pronounce it, and God forbid you had like a substitute teacher or something like that. It was always Pabon or Pabon or. So I was at an event, and I actually walked up to him and I said, "Hey," and I said, "Man, I heard you say my last name on the radio," and it sent a shiver down my spine, bro. And he was like, "Oh yeah, oh, sorry." And from that day forward, he just never stopped doing it.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, I've heard your name more than anybody else's name on the show, so
it's free. It's free marketing.
Free marketing.
Yeah, and that, like I said before, they've always been so cool to me, and he even said to me, like, I love saying your name like that because I know even if it's only funny to you, like, that's good enough for me. So yeah, they throw me a lot of love, man. I'm very grateful for the relationship that I have with them, and like I said, they are cool about facilitating a lot of artwork. In fact, I was talking to Eddie Baez, who's another very talented artist, BDM cat that I've met, and we were working together on a Tom and Dan adult coloring book.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, it's something he's been compiling art for them for years as well. And it's, he's amassed like this gigantic body of work, really cool stuff. So we kind of put our heads together and got a bunch of images.
I think he just popped into the chat, actually. What was the name again?
Nice. Eddie Baez, man.
Yep, he's watching.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still here, but hello, Eddie. Good to see you, sir.
Eddie and I had a really cool conversation when we met, and that came up. It's like this sort of collaborative spirit that we've discovered down here in this little art scene. So we wanted to extend the invitation to you. I had this idea of, like, you go to a convention and a lot of people will get different artists to contribute to a really big piece.
Right.
I kind of wanted to do the same thing with the Tom and Dan stuff and with the artists such as yourself who have been involved with doing things for them in the past.
Right. So
if you're game, we still have to work out the logistics, whether it's going to be traditional media, big canvas or something.
Yeah.
But something that'd be cool to pass around kind of the circle.
Oh, yeah, I'd definitely be down. Let me know and how we can go about it. But, yeah, I definitely would be interested. So everybody can stay up to date with all of us on all of our social medias and see if that happens. But that would be very cool.
Yeah, man.
And a big shout out to Rick Smith. Thank you for popping in. So before we start talking about the actual artwork, if you're listening through just the audio version and are mad at us because you cannot see the amazing artwork, I do apologize. But you can find this, the replay on facebook.com/JBauerArt, or you can see the nice cleaned up play version on the Hangin with Web Show YouTube channel, which is HWWW. I'm gonna try one more time. They shouldn't have put two W's in there.
No.
The HWWS WebTV YouTube channel. Just type in. You can type in "Back Talk with Bauer." You can type in "Hanging with Web Show" or whatever. You can find us. So we're on there, and you can subscribe. You can catch amazing other shows like there's a wrestling show, Heels and Reels. There's the Hanging with Web show. Kevin and Mia. Tons of amazing creators all in one spot. We're basically like a TV network, thanks to the Hanging with Web Show. And Back Talk with Bauer, Back Talk with Friends is two of the episodes that go on there. So please go head over and hit the subscribe button. All right, so we're looking at his artwork right now. We're chatting with Eric Pabon, and we are looking at amazing Mando, correct?
Oh yeah. So I'll for all you listening and not watching, I'll describe the piece to you. It's we're looking at the Mandalorian, and he's got that great rifle that was inspired by the first appearance of Boba Fett in the Star Wars Holiday Special. So,
okay.
Man, when I saw that image for the first time with that stupid gun, instantly I was like, I cannot believe we live in a world where they're throwing out homages to the Holiday Special. Like, this is incredible, man. So yeah, that I was very inspired to draw that front and center. And what a great show, man.
Are you ready for season 2?
I was ready for season 2 before season 1. So yes, very much so.
Hey, Ryan, good to see you, sir.
Are crazy. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Now,
I did see that, and I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed. Boba Fett will be making an appearance.
Man, let me tell you something, bro. Chills, man.
Because
the thing is, and you can't convince me. Boba Fett is a visually stunning character.
Mm-hmm.
But just, circumstance and budget, when you watch Return of the Jedi and you watch that scene where that Boba Fett wear scene, where he turns around and hits him in a jetpack, goes flying into the Sarlacc pit, and lets out this pitiful little scream. It just, I understand, but it doesn't do him justice, man.
No.
So if he survived the Sarlacc and you get to see a grizzled old, white bearded Boba Fett, I will be so happy.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait to see it. I hope. They're going to do an amazing job. I mean, it just. All right. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. That's how you get the subscribers right there.
Yeah.
All right. With the next piece of artwork up is a very iconic character, Slimer from Ghostbusters, and apparently he's trying to be a Ghostbuster.
Indeed. Like all of us, really.
Yes, he's got the proton pack and everything. Is that a tattoo on his arm?
So what he's done is he's taped the Ghostbusters logo to his fleshy green bulbous skin.
Okay, because first I didn't know ghosts could get tattoos, because this would be a whole other subject. But
I mean, who's to say? Who's to say? There has to be a ghost tattoo artist somewhere. But yeah,
there's got to be
the Ghostbusters piece. Ghostbusters, I'd say, is responsible for like 30% of my childhood, man.
Wow.
And it's funny because back then there was so much less content, right? So I was born in '85. This movie came out a full summer before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
Yet it ate up, I want to say, like the first 10 years of my life.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it was huge. And when I lived in Jersey and lived in PA and I was working up there, I had the opportunity when I worked in the city in New York to park in front of the firehouse and bask in it, and it's like a pilgrimage. So yeah, this piece, it's Slimer. He's floating in front of the firehouse, the iconic New York City firehouse. He's got the proton pack on. He just wants to be one of the boys.
Are you excited for the new movie that's supposed to be coming out?
I am. Oh my God. I can't tell you. I'm so excited. Again, but all right, let's shift gears a second, because we had the 2016 Ghostbusters film.
Yes.
Right? I am one of the very few people you will talk to that's going to defend that movie. And I'll tell you why. Okay? It is a controversial point of view. Okay? And again, this is coming from someone who absolutely adores Ghostbusters. But I'm also a dad. And I have daughters, right? So I got to take my daughter to see this 2016 Ghostbusters movie. So she's wrapped up in all of the excitement. We go to the store beforehand and we get the action figures, much like I did in my childhood, and the plush dolls and everything. We go see this movie, and it's not a bad movie. It's not a great movie, but it was a fine movie. But what struck me about it was, I'm watching it with my daughter, and she gets to see herself on screen, like in a big bad way. Whereas I'm showing her all this stuff from my childhood, and she likes it. But if I'm watching Ghostbusters 84 with my daughter, she's represented by the secretary or the damsel in distress, right?
Yeah.
Which is it's true a lot of those movies. So you have this movie where she gets to be the Ghostbuster, because when she goes to play after she watches the flick, what does she want to do? She wants to put the proton pack on. She wants to, she wants to catch the ghosts. So I absolutely loved that experience. Now I get the blowback and everything, and they did make some weird choices with it, continuity wise and all that, but I will staunchly defend that movie. I'll do the same thing with what am I thinking of? Star Wars. Because that seems to be a trigger for a lot of people, man. It was the same experience, man, watching those movies with my kids, and you get to be the one with the lightsaber this time. Like what a controversial idea. So
very cool. Yeah, that's definitely a different look that I haven't even seen it because it just didn't. I like Ghostbusters. It was not one of my top ones. Like, I really enjoy the original movies, and I was more of a Ninja Turtles man and a Power Rangers guy. The fighting and the martial arts stuff was always the stuff that caught my attention a bit more.
Did you see the very recent, like, I guess they did a big crossover thing on Power Rangers where the actor who played the Red Ranger came back? Did you see that? I saw
something of it, but I haven't seen the actual, I haven't seen clips of it or anything. I saw one thing on Facebook about it.
I saw the clip. It's a little cringy. It's a little, Red Ranger's had a few hamburgers.
Yeah, he became a bigger boy. I actually got to meet him at one of the Ranger Stop cons. He's super nice.
Is he?
Yeah, he was incredibly nice. I've gotten to meet all the original Rangers. I actually have I did a painting of all the original Rangers, and I made a poster version of it and had it framed. I've been going around to different events, and I finally got the last signature last year at Tampa Bay Comic Con from the original Pink Ranger, Kimberly, who is my childhood crush. And so I've got to meet all of them. Have been very different experiences. Some good, some bad. But yeah, the ones that I really wanted to be good were good. So the Red Ranger was actually coming down because it was the first or second Ranger Stop, and it started on a Friday, like a Friday night, and it was kind of dead. Yeah. And people were walking around, and he decided to walk around. So he's coming down and seeing everybody's booth, and I had the original painting behind me. So he goes to walk past, and then he looks and he stops and he starts talking to me because he couldn't believe the painting.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, those are.
I live for stuff like that, and that's why I love going to conventions too, because I get to fangirl over these heroes of mine. Yeah, dude, my wife got me as a birthday present the backstage pass for the Back to the Future reunion at MegaCon, right?
Oh wow!
So I mean, I'm floored, man. And when I go to this thing, I'm in the front row, like I'm talking about 10 feet away from these people, and it was like being in the presence of God, man. And I'm an atheist, so that's saying a lot. But Michael J. Fox comes out, and I'm like, just someone who epitomized cool for me as a kid, man. Like, it was just, I love moments like that, and they're all so nice. And you talked about Kimberly as your childhood crush, man. For me, it was Lorraine Baines in Back to the Future.
Okay.
So I was, yeah. You could have knocked me over with a feather, man. When I met Leah Thompson, I was just, oh,
that is awesome. All right, let's get back to some artwork. So, look, I'm learning all the things. I'm making it look so professional.
Look at that, man.
Look at that. So what is, of course, this is BB-8 from Star Wars. What is what's the story of this piece of artwork?
So we touched on, I guess, kind of art marketing, right? Like, how do you sell stuff? Like, how do you, keep things afloat? And I learned that there's a lot of kind of nerds my age who are now parents, and something that they seem to really have latched onto is getting custom art done, of the kids or of the family, but incorporating the stuff that they love too. So, whether it's Star Wars or whether they want their kid to be Spider-Man or
you just did something of, and I knew you were going to do it, and you blew it out of the freaking water. It was amazing. On the BDM page, somebody needed a Simpsons drawing redone.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm sure everybody's seen them. If you have social media, you're scrolling through, and you can go and pay somebody to Simpsonize you or whatever they want to call it. And he ordered it from somebody. I think he ordered it from a company, or did he order it from a specific artist?
It's a big company. I think there's more than one of them now, actually, where I don't know if they farm it out to artists or if it's more of like a CG thing where they have a template and they just plug in a face that kind of looks like an approximation of your face.
Right.
I don't know how it works, but what it ended up looking like was fine. Like it was
okay.
Yeah, it just wasn't super personalized, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he was kind of nervous because, it was a gift and like the clock was ticking. So he's a BDM and I reached out to him and said, hey, I can help you out, man. Like, just let me know.
I was going to tag you, but I wasn't sure because, every artist has their little niche and stuff. And I'm like, I've never seen him do a Simpsons kind of thing. So I wasn't sure if it was going to be your thing. But as soon as you posted, I'm like, yes, it was his thing. And you blew it out of the water, man. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
It was nicely done. Did she get the gift? Because I believe it was for his girlfriend, wife, or something of that nature. Do you know if she got it yet?
I'm assuming she got it. I don't. I'll check in with him.
Yeah, we need details. Yeah, so what else we got here? So we're getting closer to the end of the show, and there's a couple things I want to do before we get off. I know. Okay. So of course, an amazing Jim Henson drawing. What's the behind the scenes of this one?
It's just kind of sad. You know what I mean? It evokes a lot of. So this is based on a behind the scenes photograph that was taken of Jim when they were filming something with Kermit, and that photograph always stuck with me because he really is looking at the puppet in a deeper way than you would expect.
Right.
If that makes sense. So this is kind of my homage to that moment. And it's a little sad. Obviously, he's no longer with us, but man, his body of work spans all over my life, man. Like every corner of stuff that inspired me, you find some Jim Henson stuff, whether it made its way into Star Wars or Ninja Turtles, the movie, man. Like that was incredible.
Oh, man. So, and we were talking about Back to the Future a little bit ago. And of course, I love this one. This is one of my favorites of yours because I love when somebody can sit there and mash up all three films in one piece of artwork.
Oh, thank you, man.
And you did it perfectly. And that it's really cool. It takes a lot of talent to do something like this and keep it all straight and all good to go. So and you even got the car in the background. It is super cool. Did you do this just for fun? Was it for something specific, or?
This was just for fun. This was
nice.
This was me saying, like, if I wanted to hang a Back to the Future poster up that wasn't the film poster, what would I want it to look like? And
right.
For me, it's all about Marty, man. Like I said, I wanted to be Marty McFly as a little Puerto Rican boy on a skateboard, So yeah, the hardest thing about this piece, so it's split into four, and it's
right
on the extreme right hand side. It's a little slice of him from the 50s. He's on the plank that he turned to a skateboard. In the middle, it's 80s. He's got his life vest and his Walkman and stuff. Then you get to 2015 on the hoverboard, and then it's the Old West.
Yeah,
so it was kind of. It was really just thinking about, like, how do I fit all this shit into one picture that visually doesn't get confusing?
Well, and it's crazy. Again, if you guys want to see these, please head over to facebook.com/JBauerArt or the Hangin with Web Show YouTube channel, and you can actually see this amazing artwork from Eric Pabon, or find him on Facebook and stalk all of his stuff and like all the images. But I mean, on the arm where it's the West version, and which would have been the third movie, all you have is what, like a half a sleeve?
Yeah.
And you pick the original outfit.
Yeah.
You pick the original outfit he goes back in to the past with. and you automatically know what it is. All you're seeing is a sleeve. So that shows how good of an artist you are, plus how iconic of a movie it is. Like, you don't even need to see anything else. You just see that sleeve and go, oh, that's his goofy-ass outfit when he was going back.
That's exactly right, man.
Very cool, man. Very cool. What else we got here? This is interesting.
Well, I did tell you I was an atheist, right? So this is my sacrilegious Star Wars piece, and it really it's a take on those kind of old Italian frescoes of
right.
The Virgin Mary with the Christ child. So in this case, the Christ child is the child,
right?
And Mando has kind of got these blue and red shawls around him, scooping up little Baby Yoda. Excuse my use of Baby Yoda.
It's Baby Yoda. People can get over it.
I'm not militant about it. You call it whatever you want. He's adorable.
And then, of course, we got some amazing Tom and Dan art.
Tom and Dan, yes. This is they call this the Mike Judge Tom and Dan. Really, the story behind this is I smoked a little weed and sat on the couch, and this is what happened, man.
Pretty much how any good Tom and Dan story should start. And just so you know, I don't know if you caught it, but Eddie said that the Baby Yoda and Mando piece was one of his favorites.
Oh, thank you, Eddie. Eddie is the best, man.
Jurassic Park, this is fantastic. You know exactly where the scene's from. You know exactly what's going on. The T-Rex actually creeps me the hell out just because he's looking right at you, and it is a little freaky.
So, yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, this Jurassic Park, another one of my favorite flicks growing up. That iconic T-Rex attacking the Jeep scene. And that scene in particular always stuck with me because when its head comes through the top, it smashes the glass. Yep. And then the next shot, the glass is whole. Right? Yep. So you're like, well, that's a glaring continuity error. Why would they leave that in? When you hear Spielberg talk about that scene, someone brought that to his attention. Was like, dude, the glass is broken, then it's fixed. What are you doing? And he was like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, it's about moving the story forward. I don't care. Like, and it's true, man. The feeling, I put that 5 minutes of film up against almost anything. Like, it's just so well done. And
it still looks so good too. That's the insane thing. Like, how old is this movie now? What, 20 years?
90, what was that? 92, 94?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So, I mean,
I don't know.
And it looks better. It looks just as amazing now as it did then. Yeah. But then you go, and this is no shot to Marvel movies or any of the movies that are going on now, but if you watch like the original Iron Man and some of those earlier Marvel movies, you can really, I mean, even ones that are like 5 years ago, they try to jam so much of the new technology in there, and then technology changes so much in just a year. You're looking at that 5-year-old Marvel movie, and it's like, ooh, that didn't age well. Even like, I was just watching because I love the original Iron Man, and one of my favorite scenes from the original Iron Man is when he's sitting there, and it's after he's found out. I think it's after he's found out some shit's gone on, and it's he's just about to go attack the people that held him. Like, he's going to save all the villagers and everything. He's sitting in his chair, and he's tightening the bolt or whatever it is in the arm, and he just looks pissed. And he's just cranking it. I love that scene. Like, I first saw that, and I had goosebumps on my arms because he just, you knew he was going to fuck some shit up.
You're giving me goosebumps, man. I've already seen this movie many times. I'm going to go watch it again. Oh, my God.
So he's just cranking on it, and it looked really awesome then. And it's still a very powerful scene, but that arm looks very CGI now. But if you go and pop in Jurassic Park right now and see this fucking dinosaur pop out of the thing and take out the cars, I mean, there's a little bit of it you could tell. I mean, but it still looks really sharp. It still looks like it's real.
Yeah, well, they're learning this lesson really slowly, that the practical effects age better. And you see them going back to it with The Mandalorian and some of the newer Star Wars stuff. Watch Empire Strikes Back. That Yoda puppet emotes in a really real weird way. You know what I mean? And then watch those prequels, and that Yoda is scary looking. Like it's dead inside. You know, it's I don't know.
Oh man! So again, we got a few more pieces of art to try to show off here. We got a Mad Magazine one. We're going to go through a couple quick ones, but this is really cool. I love that you have the Spy versus Spy. They are one of my favorites. I actually have a Spy versus Spy painting sitting in my art cave, waiting for Hourglass Brewery to bring back their art shows because they were doing a Mad Magazine art show, which you should try to put this in if you haven't. Oh, this is the same thing?
What this was for. Yeah.
No shit. And then it got canceled.
Yeah.
Oh, God. This is very cool.
Thank you, man. And speaking of people who are really cool in this local art community, Jeremy Gonzalez.
Dude, he's awesome.
Hourglass. What a cool guy. What a, just very charismatic cat, man.
That's a dude that really gives a shit about the art community and what's going on in it and trying to get people an outlet. And I don't know if you've been in Hourglass since the shutdown and the plague or whatever the hell we were calling it. But they redid the art wall. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't been.
Oh man, it's awesome. They took out that window thing that was in there.
Oh, okay.
They took that out, and now it's like a dark gray or something wall that goes all the way up, and there's grid walls all the way up. So now they could put even more artwork up.
Ooh, that's dangerous. I like that.
If you guys want to see Eric and I's both of our artwork at a show soon, hopefully Hourglass will be up and running again, and they will have their artwork or they'll have their Mad Magazine show really soon. Because I did Spy versus Spy. I don't know if you saw it, the playing card canvas that I did.
I don't think I saw that one.
I'll have to send you a picture of it. Yeah. I was actually really proud of myself. So it looks like a playing card, and it kind of looks like a deck of cards sitting on top of each other. And then the top card, I split it. It's, you know how you have like the king going up and down?
Yeah.
Well, it's the two spies, and one's holding one kind of bomb, one's holding another kind of bomb, and then like it has spy versus or S and V in the thing instead of a letter. It's really cool.
That's dope.
Oh, and I was so damn proud of it. And then I'm like, yes, I'll have this ready for the art show. We're ready to go. And then I'm like, thank you.
The world kind of melted there, Yeah, I was in the same boat. I was like, we'll work on this piece, get it done for the art show. And it just never happened.
And I even had mine done early. Like, I was done like weeks early. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. But... So let's get a few other ones in here. Oh, man, a big Star Wars matchup here. This is fantastic. Was it for an Hourglass show? Because they did a couple of Star Wars things.
This was at the Hourglass Art Show, the Star Wars Art Show, which is it's the biggest one they do. It's insane. If you want to go see some cool stuff, man. Every December, I want to say, is when they do Star Wars.
Yeah, was it December? I think it was January, because that was actually
January.
I put in a canvas that was one of my long ones, and it had the 3 helmets of Boba Fett, Jango Fett, and Mando.
Oh, dude, I love that. I saw when that painting sold and it hung in someone's house. I thought that was so cool, man.
Yes, it sold the first night it was there because some random people were in town from freaking Texas. Yeah. And their friends told them to go because they were huge Star Wars fans, told them to go to the show. They found my painting and bought it that night. It had to go with them. Like, it didn't even get to be part of the show. Like, great, Jeremy's like, I feel kind of bad. I'm like, dude, I had a painting sold like the first month in the first show. I am very happy. I do not care.
Don't feel bad, Jeremy. Never feel bad.
It is all good. We've got a Miles Morales, which is badass. I love this. Did you see the new the Spider-Man game that's coming out with Miles?
I almost dropped my phone, brother. Now, but there was a lot of debate about this because apparently it's not a full game.
It's not a full game, but it's not just like a throwaway, small expansion. It's supposed to be pretty hardcore, very, very in-depth. They are actually trying to build a world with Miles as well.
Okay.
So this is like a stepping block, I believe.
Give me all the Miles, man. Listen,
I'm
a brown kid who loves comic books. Like, you can't ask for better. I love that character so much, and that Into the Spider-Verse movie rocked my freaking world, man.
Well, and I just love him because he's so much different than Peter, and you get such a different style and attitude, and the as an artist, the suit he does, especially into the Spider-Verse, is just he freaking spray paints it, and it's black and red.
Yes.
You couldn't make that any more perfect.
You know how, as a fan of something that you absolutely revere and love, and you feel like there's no way this can be improved upon at all. And then I saw that movie, and they took the street art elements and they took the hip hop elements, and he literally graffitied the logo on his chest.
Yep.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that was another Goosebumps moment. I cannot wait for the next Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. There's more and more things coming out here and there about it. I hope even half the characters that they think are going to be a part of it are, because it's going to be a fantastic movie.
I know we're running out of time. I have to tell you a quick side story just to give you a little insight. Sure. When I was in the 5th grade, my teacher told me you can do a project report on anything you want for extra credit, right?
Oh.
So I did a presentation about Spider-Man. But nice. I gave it to the teacher, and it was well researched. It was well written. I was deep cutting it. I was explaining how the web shooters worked, how he has to tap it twice.
Right.
And she got it, and she's like, "Oh, this is great. I want to share it in front of the class." And I was like, "Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't." Yeah, at the time, this was a no-go, man.
Let's keep this on the DL, please.
I just wanted the extra credit, and this is something I liked. So she's like, no, class, gather around. I was like,
look at this nerd. First off, he did extra credit. Who does that? Then he did about some character named Spooderman.
Yeah, just tell him about this Stan Lee character.
Crap.
Okay. All right.
So back to your art, we of course got another insane thing of Tom and Dan. Tom with his one wheel and Dan with his scooter. By the way, if you do not know what we are talking about when we talk about Tom and Dan BDMs, all that good stuff, if you're looking for a podcast that is extremely funny, amazing to listen to, and you can get into a community that is fucking amazing, and I use the F word in there because they are. The BDMs are a amazing, supportive group of people that will embrace you and make you one of them, no matter what the situation is. Please check out A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan, and all their connecting shows. They are phenomenal. That is how Eric and I got connected. That is how I've got connected to an amazing group of people. They are actually some of the inspiration of how this show exists. So please go check out Tom and Dan.
Tom and Dan. Cool guys, man. Really good guys. And check out Semantics, too. Semantics is a really, really dope podcast. Sam,
for sure.
Her husband, Travis. Yeah, man.
I love the name. And Travis actually friended me on social media after, I think it was the Bad at Business Beer Fest. And for a good while, he was loving all my stuff and checking it out. So that was cool. I hope to meet Travis. Because I didn't get to meet him the last couple things we were at, so hopefully I get to meet him and say thank you down the road. But shout out to Semantics as well. Did this one become a sticker in the sticker pack?
This one became a sticker, and it became a T-shirt.
Yes.
So they, I mentioned 100 times, they're super cool. Very supportive when it comes to artwork, and I listen to their podcast from the jump. So, I travel for a living. These guys are in my ears constantly. So when I'm doing stuff just for me, a lot of times the kind of humor that they have is a lot like the kind of humor I have. So it just resonates. And I'll hear something they say. It's just some off the wall tangent stuff. And I think Eddie is the same way. We'll just hear some scenario or some joke, and it comes out in oh, dude, I got to draw that.
Oh yeah,
the one I'm working on now is Tom trying to skip.
Yes, I finally got to hear that show because I'm always a little bit behind, a week or so behind. So I see all the stuff on the social media stuff and talking about the skipping and everything, and then I finally get hear the episode. But I cannot wait to see what you come up with that. The one I want to do, it's actually from a different show. It's the News Junkies Secret Shows.
Okay, yeah.
Listen to that. This Ain't My First Gunfight, Shithead.
I'm not familiar, but I like I like where it's going.
It is C-Lane was doing he's trying to do voiceover work for video games. I guess there's this website you can go to and like audition for games or different voiceover stuff. Okay. And they got a hold of his recording, and one of the things of "This ain't my first gunfight she had," and now I want to make a secret shows magnet of "This ain't my first secret shows magnet shithead," or something of that nature. So I've been twirling that in my head for a little bit. And then the last one I have of you is this cool Beetlejuice thing. Where did this come from?
I want to blame this one on weed too, but I don't think it. I think what it is again, this is just another movie that is like in the architecture of my childhood, and but I wanted to give it a Marvel Comics kind of a Jack Kirby, Mr. Fantastic vibe. So Beetlejuice could do weird stuff with his body. I thought it would be cool if he just like lost track of where his arms and legs went.
That's really cool. Very nice. So yeah, if you want to see any of this artwork, again, go check out Eric Pabon's Facebook page. Just type in Eric Pabon, and it's spelled how it sounds, so you should be able to find it. And then if you want to see the stream, JBauerArt and Hanging with Web Show on YouTube. So we're getting towards the end of the show. We got to wrap things up here soon. But I have been doing. It's been an awesome conversation with you, and we kept it going really well. This has been very cool. It's nice to have an artist on here. I want to get more artists on the show because I relate to the artists the most. Like when I was talking with Christian last week for the Legend of the Traveling Tardis show, and we were talking about his stuff, I was kind of having a hard time engaging because I've never watched anything Doctor Who. So I was trying to come up with cool questions and be into it, but he would be throwing names out there, and I had no idea the people he was talking about. So I tried to do as well. Man,
I've never seen a single episode. I can't say this like in a convention setting because you get hurt, man. But I've just never fallen down the rabbit hole.
My wife got into it, and I watched a few episodes here and there because she had it on in the TV, but it was something I never got into. Terry from Ireland actually digs your artwork. He will be checking it out more.
Thanks, Terry, man.
If Terry gets in touch with you, work with Terry. He does not sleep. He lives on his computer, and he will share your shit everywhere. He shares your shit in places you didn't even know were shareable. So a big shout out to Terry McIver, all the way in Ireland. As always, he is a huge supporter of myself and all the people I work with. So thank you, Terry, for always being awesome. It's like, I want to say 1 or 2 in the morning over in Ireland right now, and he stays up to watch this shit show. So a big shout out to him. But as I was talking before, I have ordered these interview decks called Pod Decks. They're great interview questions. I have a bunch of different decks. I grabbed from the interview deck this week, and I kind of thought this was a cool one, especially for an artist. So these are just random questions I can ask my guests, and I'm trying to end on 1 or 2 of these at the end of the show. So if you were to die tomorrow, what little thing would you regret not doing?
Oh, shit.
It got real at the end.
It got real on me, man. Holy shit. What little thing would I regret not doing? I don't want to toot my own horn, right?
Okay.
But there's this kind of why not mentality that you have to have. Mm-hmm. Even dumb shit, like just chasing whimsy, man. I got it into my head right before my first kid was born that I wanted to make a horror movie, right? I had no business making a horror movie, but I knew I just needed to cross it off my fucking list because if I didn't, I would just be thinking about it forever. Like, why didn't I do that?
Okay.
So, we actually made the horror movie, and it's not good. It's really not good. I'll send you the link. And,
okay.
It's just, but I'm so happy that it exists.
Right.
Just for that reason, because I liked who I was when I was doing it. So if there's anything that to answer that question, I try really hard to avoid those moments where there's something. I just go after the things I want, man. I married my high school sweetheart. I've loved this
Nice.
woman for pretty much my entire adult life, and I knew that I just needed to be with her and start a family with her, and just go after shit, man. Like life is temporary as fuck.
For
That's
sure.
all I can say. And you have one shot at it, man. When it's done, it's done. So you just got to fill it up with the stuff that matters to you, even if that stuff seems a little silly,
All right. Right. So first off, thank you so much for coming on the show with me. I know it was going to be on one way and then the other way, and it seems like this really worked. It seemed like everybody was really into it, and it seemed pretty easy for you, correct, to get on and get going?
This was beautiful, man.
Awesome,
and
man.
Yeah, and even better for me because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So this was great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hopping on, Eric. I greatly appreciate it. I want to have you on again because it was super easy to chat with you. Maybe we can even get you on we can get an artist roundup of Back Talk with Friends and have you on that.
That'd be great.
Before we head out, let's have you plug your stuff so everybody knows where to find you on the Facebook, the Instagrams, all that good shit, and then I'll do my plugs.
You got it. You can find me at Art of Eric Pabon, Pabon.com. On Facebook, Art of Eric Pabon. Instagram, Eric Angel Pabon. If you see something you like, just reach out to me in any way that you can, and I'll get you a print. If you want a commission done, I'll get you a commission done. And I will have a lot of prints to sell because there's nowhere to sell them right now.
You need to have a 4th of July sale, sir.
Yeah, I have a backlog of prints, so I'll be running some kind of sales soon. I will also take the opportunity to, since you do have a lot of creatives that listen to the show.
For sure.
There's an organization that I work with called the Superhero Project, and they're always looking for artists. So what it is it's basically a collective of artists who volunteer their time and their talent, and they interview kids who are sick or who are living with disabilities, just these really courageous kids, and they come up with these insanely cool ideas about what they want their own superhero persona to be, the costume, the powers, and it's always really, really inspiring to read and to get to take their vision and put it to paper. So if you're interested, reach out to Sidekicks Ohio. She is based out of Ohio.
Okay.
Sidekicks Ohio. Hold on, I gotta make sure I get this right. See, this is taking up on me. You can always Google Superhero Project, but Sidekicks Ohio, I think it's at gmail.com.
Okay.
If you want to help out.
Very cool. Again, thank you very much, Eric, for popping on. I greatly appreciate it. This was so much fun. If you guys liked the show, if you enjoyed what was going on, please hit the like button on the Facebook.com/JBauerArt. You can catch my artwork there. You can catch Back Talk with Bauer, Back Talk with Friends, and whatever else I decide to get into. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube. I will let you guys know the YouTube channel will start having new videos on it at least once a month. I'm going to put the Back Talk with Friends episodes on there because those are just going to be raunchy as shit most of the time. And I don't need GW from Hanging with Rob Show yelling at me. So please head over to both YouTube channels and hit the subscribe button to follow all this stuff. And please go and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. I'm on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and iHeartRadio. And there's a couple other ones here and there, but I'm trying to get the numbers up so I can go, look, sponsors, I have all these listeners. So trying to build up the show, share, like, invite people, throw it at your grandma. I don't care what you do, but please do all those awesome things for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. And stay tuned. There's going to be amazing interviews coming up. I've got Kingdom of Comics next week. I've got a musician the following week. My wife is going to be on the show in July. We're going to pull out the pod deck questions and ask them each other and try to answer for each other. So that should be fun. And there's some other people down the road coming onto the show. If you'd like to be on the show, please hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, any of the things, or JBauerArt@gmail.com. Again, thank you guys so much for listening. I will catch you guys next time. Later.